Genesis with Pepin. She's making her way up here. We're gonna try and close at the end. There's a couple things I'm gonna show you, but there's a lot of information in your purple folder about our organization and ways to get involved. Come on up here, Genesis. Last year, we had not had a working relationship as an employer with y'all initially. We were about to do one of our days of business tours that are coming up in January and February. We're gonna move 3,500 kids this year, and we had somebody cancel, and we had no wiggle room. And a mutual acquaintance put us in contact, and they turned on a dime and hosted kids the next day, and then they are all in so many ways, and such a great employer. We're so grateful and excited for you to close us out today. Thank you, Genesis.
Thank you, everyone. As Yvonne mentioned, my name is Genesis Smith, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Legal and HR for Pepin Distributing Company. We are the exclusive wholesaler for Anheuser-Busch products, so that's Budweiser, Busch, and Michelob, and all the Constellation products in the area as well. That's Corona, Modelo, and Pacifico. And while beer is still our bread and butter, we also carry wine, spirits, energy drinks, chocolate milk, water, you name it. If it comes in a can or a bottle, it probably moved through our warehouse. And Art Pepin started this company, fast forward there. Art Pepin started the company back in 1967, just as a small family-owned business with a few dozen employees and 3 products, Budweiser, Busch, and Michelob. Later, he and his son, Tom Pepin, grew it into the empire that you know it today that carries tens of thousands of SKUs. Now, in the early 1960s, there was something else happening around this time. And amid the space race, there's a story that John F. Kennedy visited the Space Center. And some of you may have heard the story that he bumped into a janitor during his tour, and he asked the janitor, "Hi, my name is Jack. What do you do here?" The janitor answered him, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." Now, whether or not that conversation actually happened is irrelevant. What matters is that the janitors help put men on the moon too. And in one sentence, that individual, in one breath, he was able to connect what he does with the mission and the purpose of not just NASA, but the nation at the time. So, and that's because each person has their own part to contribute to an overall outcome and achievement of the organization that they serve. True leaders like Art Pepins of the world are able to bring people together and help them realize how they contribute. So when you feel connected to a broader vision and purpose, you can feel that sense of trust, community, belonging. And I'll stop for a minute and just say that I apparently thought that I had Lisa at Baycare's whole topic, but I promised Chrissy that I would bring it home and wrap it back into what I was actually assigned, so bear with me. So fast forward to 2021, and our small family-owned business coming off the heels of a global pandemic was acquired by an investment firm, backed with billions of dollars in capital, operating in all 50 states. And in Florida alone, they own 8 different companies and employ over 30,000 Floridians. So we went from being just a small family business, growing to several hundred employees over the course of just a couple of decades, and then becoming part of a larger, much larger portfolio. So how do you make the janitors still feel connected to the bigger mission? And you do that by change management, right? At my organization, it was an acquisition. For a lot of us here, it was the pandemic, whether it's the ebb and flow of seasonal work, the state of the workforce in general. People don't like change. The one constant is change, right? And change, it comes with the unexpected. It pushes people out of their comfort zones, and it makes them feel disengaged. When people feel disengaged, they feel like they're not contributing to something. People want to feel valued, like they add value, and that they feel valued, right? They need to feel the connection between what they are doing, sweeping the floors, and being part of something bigger, putting a man on the moon. So when people don't feel that connection, they leave. And that creates retention problems, right? When you lose good talent, your productivity decreases as a whole organization. So you have to manage the change. I'm not keeping up with my slides, sorry. And I threw this one in here because who doesn't love a good random quote from the internet from somebody who's mildly famous, right? But it's so true that change doesn't change tradition, it can strengthen it if it's managed correctly. And it's true that change is going to bring challenges and opportunities, but what are those opportunities? Now, you have to know what exactly the challenges are. A problem well stated is a problem half solved. You need a gap analysis to figure out where you're going, and then you've got to figure out how you're going to get there. And that's through trust and transparency. The only way that you can get an organization to move forward is by getting everybody on board and working together towards that common goal. Now, the one barrier, time is never on anybody's side, and I'm sorry, I don't have a solution for this one. But this is where you're going to have to slow your stakeholders down in your company and get them to focus on the bigger picture, rather than just the proximate cause, the thing that's right in front of them. It's usually not the root cause. It's usually just the symptom of something bigger in the background. And that may be the hardest part of managing change, for sure. So barriers and solutions. Whether you're championing the change or you're just trying to weather the storm, you'll probably see some opposition. How do you overcome that? Those opposed to you have to feel validated. They have to feel heard. They have to be part of what you're doing. Along the same lines, you're going to find people that are just riding the wave, and while they're not necessarily vocal about their opposition, they're negative nonetheless. So making them feel, they might feel stuck, and that's where leadership comes in. You're going to need people who can help connect those dots for folks and get them to understand what they're doing, how that contributes to the overall mission of your organization. And then you've got to control the chaos. And the easiest way to do that is just to get back to the basics. What is it that you stand for? What is your mission? What is your organization's values? And how does the work you're doing today connect back directly to that? Because if managed well, change doesn't change tradition, it strengthens it. So how do you keep it going? Again, you've got to identify exactly what it is you stand for and stick by that. You have to identify those key stakeholders in your company and recruit them at every level, in every department. They should be shouting your mission from the rooftops because you can't move the needle all by yourself. And then you're gonna, and many people know that referrals are gonna be your best source of talent, right? So the way you do that is by being true and, to your employees and as transparent as you possibly can in a business setting. Because, and while I don't have a slide for this, so I'm going to go off topic a little bit for a moment. I don't have a slide for this, but it goes without saying that you have to find strong community partners like we have in Future Career Academy. I want to take just the last few moments that I have with you to share a couple of success stories that we've had by partnering with Future Career Academy. This year at our holiday party, we've made a change. It'll be our first year that we're hosting a whole award ceremony in addition to our traditional Hall of Fame award. And we have a Rookie of the Year award that we're awarding this year. In that category, a Future Career Academy student named Andrew Lozano has received the most nominations of any employee in the company. And I just want to quickly share a couple of the nominations that stuck out to me. Our warehouse manager said, Andrew Lozano is a kid that comes right out of high school to Pepin. He works his tail off nightly. He never complains. He's one of our top 5 selectors nightly and usually top 3, always smiling. Wish we had 15 more of him. Our other selector supervisor mentioned that I am voting for the high school trio of Andrew Lozano, Nick Hines, and Javon Hill. All of these are Future Career Academy students. They come in and day out, ready to work with a positive attitude. So again, connecting with strong community partners is key because aligning with Future Career Academy has allowed us to amplify our message across the community and helped us attract and retain more talent than ever before. Working with Future Career Academy helped to inspire us to explore part-time positions and make other changes to the way that we do business so that we can continue that trajectory. Because awards are great and robust benefit packages are incredibly important, but we have to respond to the changes in the economy, our society, and the workforce. We've also lowered our hiring age from 21 to 18 after the DOT changed the requirements for CDLs. And these are all changes that we've made in response to the changes that are happening around us. Because as I stated earlier, change is the only constant. And if it's managed well, it can strengthen the traditions around you. You can harness the opportunities presented from those challenges by managing the change. Thank you.